Thank you all. RETCON, I am so excited to be with you here today. I'm going to be up here for about 15 minutes talking to you about some amazing technology and what it looks like to provide the dream of home to more families than you're probably used to. If you have never heard of New Story before, I am thrilled to share who we are. A nonprofit organization pioneering solutions to end global homelessness. My goal is that at the end of this 15 minutes, you walk away with an understanding of how technology is going to radically change the affordable housing space and how New Story is going to be a part of it. But before I get started, I want to share with you a little glimpse into who we are. This video will do a whole lot more good than my words can.
What if we could build just one home? That was the question we asked ourselves as young 20-somethings standing in front of a need so big, we could hardly imagine solving it. Sure, we had big dreams, but what could 4 kids do? We could start small. Build one home for one family. Do for one what we wished we could do for all. So we did. Then we did it again and again and again. We saw thousands of families, more than 10,000 individuals across 4 countries, stepping into safety, security, and the hope for a brighter future. We saw the power of home. And while our dreams grew, our understanding grew with it. This is so much bigger than the 10,000 people we've served. And with a problem this big, it was time to get a bigger dream.
When starting out, we were underdogs. The mindset that we have around taking risk and innovation to try some crazy things that can impact the world.
What if we could find breakthroughs to help us build homes better and faster? We'd give ourselves the chance to build more communities than ever before. And what if we invited every other housing organization and government to join together with us? What if every innovation, every learning, every breakthrough was shared instead of siloed? And what if the thousands working to end homelessness could dream bigger together than any of us could alone? All of this so that someday, their big dreams, the dream of home, can become a reality. And so soon, we can do for all what at first we could only do for one.
That video still gives me chills to this day, and I've seen it hundreds of times. Wow, right? Now let's talk about some of our families, some that you actually saw in that video, like the Martinez family. They've lived in this home for 12 years, since they've gotten married. As you can see, their floors are dirt, their roofs are makeshift, the sides of their home are tarps and tents and makeshift materials. Or our families in Haiti that are joyful and optimistic despite the fact that they are living in survival mode and living in these tarp tents. I can show you home after home where families are raising children and fighting sickness and trying to figure out how to make it to the next day. They just want to give their kids a better life than they had. But here's the problem. Globally, more than 1.6 billion people are living with inadequate shelter. Their day-to-day struggles are horrific and heartbreaking, and sometimes as near impossible, as they make decisions that no human should face. But I have good news. There's a solution. Homelessness is a solvable problem. News Story has seen community after community where families have gone from living in these makeshift shelters to then being in thriving communities, built to last homes that are safe and adequate. We have seen children struggling to do their homework with no electricity on those dirt floors, to then going back to that community and seeing those kids increasing their education, exploring creativity, being able to have a room of their own, a door that locks, sometimes for the very first time. My hope is that by this point, you all are nodding your head because you get it. You understand this to your core. You know that homes unlock a family's ability to thrive. These homes enable education and safety and income generation. It's life-changing to be able to have something as simple as a lock and a front door. It's more than just four walls and an address. Claudia there on the far right, after she moved into her home in El Salvador, she actually started a tortilla business, increasing her personal income over 61%. She was able to provide for her family in a way that she never dreamed to be possible. News Story was founded 7 years ago with a really simple idea. How do we provide homes for families living in survival mode? What started with one home grew to one street, and then that one street grew to the first community. And it's grown into what we've built today, holistic communities that are enabling families to live and to thrive, giving them lasting impact. This is my absolute favorite slide. In our first 7 years, we're still very young, News Story has been able to build over 3,000 safe homes. We've built over 29 different communities in 4 different countries, and we've impacted over 12,000 lives. But we believe that's only scratching the surface. It's not what we are capable of. Our team currently is working on housing 1 million people by 2030. And the great news is, everyone in this room can be a part of it. Now, if I have learned anything about the type of people that RETCON attracts, you all are innovators. You all are deep thinkers. So you're probably looking at these data points and these numbers and these photos and saying that feels good, but you probably have some much deeper questions. So let's talk about why this works. From day one, we have set out to do things differently. Not just for the sake of being able to use words like innovation into pitches like this. No, it's because we're taking on one of the world's largest problems. And the fact of the matter is this problem is not getting any smaller. In fact, it's just getting bigger. And we also know that traditional charity is broken. Transparency doesn't exist. And we knew that we had to do something to change that. We wanted to be at the center of being different. So, one of the ways that we do that is through our 100% model, which means that 100% of donations coming to News Story goes to building life-saving homes. And you're probably asking yourself, how is that possible? We have a group of private donors that we call the Builders. They enable all of our operational expenses. So my travel here, our salaries, our team offices are made possible because of this group of about 60 families. This means that when you donate, you are confident that every single penny is going to building homes for families who need it most. Our impact team works around the clock to ensure that we are using the best, most responsible resources to build. This means that we hire local laborers in the communities that we build, and local materials are sourced to be able to fuel those local economies. We also have an incredible process. This is probably one of the pieces of the process that I am most proud of, is how we involve families into the actual building of their homes. We involve them in every step of the process so that before we even move a piece of dirt, we know exactly what their needs are. These pictures here are from one of our lean participatory design sessions, where families get to speak into every aspect of their home and of their community to create that sustainability, to create that life-changing generational impact. This process gives dignity and empowerment to our families. And it's just amazing to see how creative their minds are when they're given the opportunity to unlock that creativity. This brings out in this mindset for our families where they feel ownership of their homes. But before I tell you about some of our innovations, while we're all in this room, right? You've probably seen a lot of the 3D printing communities and all of the cool stuff that we do. I want to give you more of an insight into our mindset and share a little bit more about how we think.
At the beginning of any journey, there's a voice we've all heard. It's subtle, but strong. It reminds us there are rules to be followed. Fall in line, stay the course. Don't do anything crazy. Don't expect to change the world. But for some of us, status quo was never an option. We've always had crazy ideas. Ideas about how the world could be, should be. And we have this belief deep down that real impact, real change is not only possible, it's happening here and now. For anyone who's willing to take the leap. We're not waiting for the future to get here. We're not waiting for our name to be called. Because for 1 billion people living without homes, waiting was never an option. Action takes courage. Change takes risk. The problem is big, but the possibilities are bigger. And for every person who dreams of home, we're willing to make our own rules. Aren't you?
So let's get to all of our really exciting innovations, starting with our EcoBlock technology. Our partners in Mexico, Chile, helped us pioneer EcoBlock. And it is to really help us build higher quality homes as fast as possible. We can print about 1,500 EcoBlocks in a day, building 2 homes with those 1,500 EcoBlocks. It's a sustainable and incredibly resilient innovation made of compressed earth. This is made of 90% earth and 10% concrete and is 4 times stronger than a traditional cinder block. It requires very few materials, it's easy to reuse, and it's incredibly environmentally friendly. Then we have our incremental design. This enables families to build onto their existing homes with a lot of ease. Rather than building out a large structure and guessing what a family is going to need for generations, we will build a foundation that's a lot more simple. And we'll build all of the rooms necessary for that family to thrive. And then we work with them to have a dream of what that home is going to be like. We let the families add to their homes over time. This allows this home to take the shape of the dreams and the needs of a family for multiple generations as they expand, as families come and live with them. Culturally, this has been one of our most incredible innovations in generational growth. And then we have the big one. We have partnered with RETCON out of Austin, Texas, to build the world's first 3D printed community in Nacajuca, Mexico, which families actually moved into this November. We are still celebrating that success. This sector-shifting technology increases the speed of construction, having about 48 hours of actual print time. It runs at near zero waste and builds resilient homes. We've gained more than 1 billion media impressions with this technology, and we've showed the world that there's power in bringing technology to the pockets of the world that often don't see it, to the families, to the people who need it most. Because of these innovations, no community is the same. Each one is slightly different to account for the families who live there and their unique needs. It's because of these innovations and how they will serve our incredible families why New Story exists, to pioneer solutions to end global homelessness. But everything that I just mentioned only matters because of the life-changing impact that happens to our families when they receive these homes made by these incredible innovations. If you're like me, you dream of a world where homelessness is no longer. But you might be asking yourself, how can I take on one of the world's biggest problems? How can I actually make a difference? We have a saying at New Story, dream big and start small. We know that we cannot solve global homelessness today, but we can solve homelessness for a group of families. You can dream big with us, and it's okay to start small. Choosing to partner with New Story matters because these families matter. Their futures matter. Further generations in their families matter. So today I'm asking you to dream big on behalf of these families, thousands of miles away, and to raise your hand saying that this matters. The innovation of these homes matter. The way that New Story is building matters. And you want to be a part of something like this. On the screen, you're going to see two ways to get involved. One is a text option, one is a short URL. And it's going to take you to an opportunity for you to either make a donation to New Story to pioneer these solutions forward, or to get more information about how you or your company can make an even larger impact into the future. We thrive on powerful partnerships of both individuals and companies that say, I want to be a part of life-changing, global social change. In the past 2 years, we have seen the power of home, right? We have been in our homes. We have turned our homes into schools for our children, into gyms, and probably at some times it felt like jail cells. At New Story, we have the opportunity, partnership with you, to bring that same power of home to families. If you have been inspired today to get involved or just hear more about what New Story is doing, we're telling you that it's okay to dream big and start small. I would love for you all to join us today to hear more about these innovations and to be a part of this life-changing impact. I think this is the opportunity that you probably don't get a whole lot in these sessions where a speaker says, please be on your phone. I want to see all of your phones out. So please take advantage of it. An entire home for one of these families is less than $10,000. So whether you give $10 or $10,000 or any number in between, every single penny of that goes to life-changing impact, goes to building homes, safe, sustainable homes that will last these families generations. I want to thank you all for allowing me to come up here and share a little bit about New Story, what we do, and I really look forward to pioneering all of your impact forward together in the future. Thank you all.